people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 10 of Ace Attorney Investigations. Last time, we started our investigation of the plane. We talked to Zinc LeBlanc. He was angry about his art. Oh, we also ran into Franziska. She's trying to arrest Edgeworth, trying to vent out her daddy issues, and now we are going to continue on. Anyways, let's try showing him photo. Okay, I don't think we can... we actually have another point of conversation. What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc?
She was taken to the attendance room for her interview, and then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her.
Why is Mr. Nero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time? Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you? Franziska, I am given free rein to go wherever I want, because I am Miles motherfucking Edgeworth. I am the king of logic, I am the king of prosecutors, I even have a trophy for the latter. Do you have a king of prosecutors trophy? No, Miles Edgeworth, but nothing, Franziska, just as I thought. Yes, I was able to attain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Mr. Nero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendants room. Before I do... you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. Yes, the ultimate sibling argument. Yes, yeah, it just will devolve into it. You're a poopy head, Miles Edgeworth. There you are, Franziska. I know you are, Miles Edgeworth, but what am I? Franziska's logic. Yes. The logic battle. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, in this very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found, the only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likely suspect. The likeliest suspect, Franziska. Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? What kindness, Franziska? You've never been kind! You one time pushed a clown over a birthday party! Oh my gosh. Like I said, CzarThwomp at night. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. But I couldn't record today. I gotta get my recording done, so yay. We're having fun. We're having fun. Thank you, but your leniency isn't unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break her line of logic fast. Teach her what happens. Now, we gotta get that awkward brother-sister commentary. Adoptive sibling argument for the win. Don't you think you're being a bit rash by simply declaring me the culprit? Papa did, Miles Edgeworth, and what's good for Papa is good enough for me. I like my verse to be simple and perfect. I'll show you the meaning of both when I finish this whole thing within 3 minutes.
You said that like you're cocking a pack of instant noodles! No! Cooking! Yes, cocking of the instant noodles. Gumshoe, what are you doing on Friday nights? Just cocking that pack of instant noodles. I'm sorry. I won't allow even 3 seconds of useless testimony to be uttered in my presence. I see she hasn't changed a bit. But I won't allow her to send me to prison so easily. I'm not her father. So tell me, Franziska, do you know all there is to know about the crime scene? I know all that I need to know in order to arrest you. And nothing more? Are you saying there is more I need to know? Well, why do it me, sorry?
Sorry, Scruffy, my hand must have slipped. It would appear that Franziska doesn't have all the facts of this case yet. I just want to do it all because really, Franziska and Edgeworth, their dialogue's always golden. You can just sense the awkward sibling tension. What do you mean by scene? It means that I saw it with my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. Don't be so foolish. Please stop pretending like you don't know. It's insulting. Obviously, I'm talking about how Mr. Hicks was seen calling for an attendant at 5 a.m. And then, from the time after that call until the body was found... While it's true that I was in the lounge the whole time, that fact alone does not make me the criminal. Ha! We'll see about that after the conclusion of this investigation. However, there is one thing that even you must admit at this time. Under the circumstances, I suppose we can agree that I am the most likely suspect.
But I believe in you, sir! I don't think you did it!
Then why are you standing over by Franziska, Gumshoe?
Miss Von Karma's gotta believe that too, right? I mean, you two us like siblings. Oh!
Quiet, Scruffy! Even if I were related by blood, that's no guarantee that he's not a criminal!
Really, Franziska? Yeah, you call him little brother on several occasions.
Franziska, we're adoptive siblings! I demand to see some proof that you are not the guilty party! The likely suspect, what a roundabout euphemism. But it would appear that she doesn't yet know about the new evidence that we acquired and where we acquired it. I'll take care of the gaps in her logic one hole at a time. Yeah, basically, I believe that basically, yeah, okay, good. 'Cause I knew it was one of those three. It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. And what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from a different location. Welcome to the pursuit round, Franziska! Your life is over. You are going to lose so badly. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all. Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions? Excuse me? All you do is find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That does not prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem that I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. Von Karma is perfect in every way. Oh yes, except when it comes... Oh, in that case, why was my father murdered, Franziska? Oh, right, could have been the fact that your father forged a piece of evidence and got a penalty. Ah, but you do know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point. As if there's proof of that. Where is the proof that the suitcase was moved around? Easy. The grape juice footprints. The footprints, like foosball. Footprints. Ugh. The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator? Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Behold the wheel marks. This is grape juice. It is fine, exquisite grape juice. This mark here, wouldn't you say that it's suspiciously it looks suspiciously like tracks from two wheels? I suppose. Further, there's also grape juice residue on the wheels of that suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you've come to your senses. Not so fast! This still doesn't put you in the clear, not by a long shot. Franziska's logic, part 2. You raped yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. Yeah, Franziska, I love how she just contradicts herself in the very first piece of testimony. Because you gotta present the piggy bank. Even I know that. Even I can figure that out. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. I love how little Franziska knows her adopted sibling. Literally, she knows that Edgeworth has a fear of earthquakes. I think that she would have caught on to that during the 15 years they spent in the same being raised by the same guy. I'm pretty sure she would know that Edgeworth would not go to an elevator so willingly. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you'd taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly, except the fact that I would never take an elevator. Why would I take an elevator, Franziska? You know that all my daddy issues are connected to them. Just what are you insinuating? That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in our logic in one fell swoop. One piece of evidence, one statement, one sentence. I want to just press all of Franziska's statements anyways, just because, like I said, her interactions with Edgeworth are just golden. And how do you suppose I was able to take the piggy bank out of its display case? As I recall, the case was locked. That's easy. If the case was locked, you simply had to hit the glass like this.
Ow! You shattered my heart of glass! Why? You already shattered my paycheck! You shattered my heart of glass! What else do I have left?
So she wants to talk about the in-flight shop and the iFly bank, does she? That takes care of how you obtained the murder weapon. I love how they make it just so obvious that the iFly bank is just that one for that piece of testimony. I thought there wasn't any other victim's blood found in the lounge. I thought you'd say that. What, do you think I wouldn't have noticed? I think you just found a way to cleverly hide the blood splatter in the lounge. Trust me, Miles Edgeworth, by the time the case comes to court, that blood will be found. And Franziska, 5 minutes later, she's just blotting blood on every surface. Look at all this blood. Look at Miles Edgeworth's crime. By accidentally spilling grape juice on top of it.
Yeah! Are you accusing me of tampering with the crime scene now?
It is our family tradition, Miles Edgeworth. We'll see, won't we? The forensic scientists are hard at work on that as we speak. And what do you propose I did after that? Okay, come on. So I put the victim's body into the suitcase, and then... Where was I headed, Franziska? That's pretty obvious. You were bringing it to first class where you could safely keep an eye on it. We're talking about this thing, you know. I'd hardly call it discreet or ordinary. I call it hideous. Annoying brat. Yeah, Edgeworth. You know Edgeworth holds a special place in Franziska's heart, considering that he is above foolish fool and is annoying brat, just like how Phoenix is naive boy. Well then, you were intending to leave it inside the elevator, but unfortunately for you, a wrench was thrown into your plans because... You've experienced turbulence on a flight before. Of course, many times. You get used to it after a while. The patch we hit was especially rough, and I passed out briefly, but only for a second.
Good thing it was only for a second, Sully. It'd be really bad if you had blanked out.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, blanking out is exactly what got me into this mess in the first place. That's enough of your idle chatter. I'm not through with you yet, Miles Edgeworth. If I really were a criminal, do you really think I would be so easily caught? I'm a prosecutor, Franziska. I know how not to get caught. I mean, your father was able to get away with murder for 15 years. You are certainly in the middle of being caught right now. Ah! I have to find a contradiction fast, or I won't have much of my own hide left to save. I have to say, you are looking rather caught right now. And I'll tell you exactly what you did after that. You loitered around in the lounge like a fool. And pretended to be discovered the bike like a fool. I didn't pretend to be anything. I really was the fast I discovered the victim's body. I suppose that's true. So then, you are yielding to my statements? Don't be foolish. I still insist that you are the killer, but in that sense, you really were the first to discover the body of the dead. No matter what I say, she seems dead set on making me out to be the killer. Her logic is reasonably sound, and the large majority of it reflects the truth. But there is one point about it that just does not quite make sense. And that is because... Piggy bank time! The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic, essential tools that those who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master. Unless, of course, you are that guy, that foolish, naive boy. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This Mr. iFly piggy bank is not just a fake, it is not the real murder weapon. What? The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then, what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, CzarThwomp, what the hell am I, Sambugi? The killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick up the bank up from off the floor.
I love that they just have Edgeworth's lower torso and that frame just blacked out.
And took it to fabricate a murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Ackley Hicks.
You there! Yes, ma'am!
Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found?
We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence, and the remaining items all tested negative for any traces of blood.
I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end.
But it's possible it's just hidden somewhere, sorry.
Eek! If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or is still at the real crime scene. There is one more possibility, and that would be that the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon. But didn't we just... Let me finish. The killer took the bank from out of the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that a perfectly reasonable line of explanation, would you? Let's see, so that means that the killer had the key to the display case. Franziska, the person you're talking about is not me! Yes it is you, Miles Edgeworth! You are the reason why my life is horrible! Not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. A foolish sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it's the sin of lying!
Really, Franziska? You're accusing people of lying? Miss I rig my witnesses in court? I obfuscate evidence that does not help me?
Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak with her. Yes. Very well, permission granted, but only if I can sound in your interrogation. We'll be good cop, bad cop. You be good cop, I'll be bad cop. It's just like when we were children, Miles Edgeworth. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. Mr. Nero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move.
You hurry up and solve the matter! If you do not, how am I supposed to be having my cargo returned to me?
If you could please be patient just a little longer, Mr. LeBlanc.
Hurry and solve it! Like a streak of thunder! I'm crazy thunder, that name in Burkinia! I go around streaking! I go around going, running naked! I shake in all the wrong places! The police, they try to chase me down, but I'm too fast! I'm like the gingerbread man!
It's as fast as lightning, and believe me, if I could, I would.
Oh, come on, Franziska, I'm ashamed of you. No giant lamp, no giant light.
So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What are you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Mr. Nero. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too. Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? All right.
So these are the attendance lockers, huh? Let's hurry up and examine them, sorry.
Why must men always be so rude? Besides, who exactly gave you permission to search through the attendants' lockers? Wait, detective. It would be uncouth of us to look in a woman's locker without her permission.
Yeah, I guess so. Plus, I feel this murderous draft, and I can sense the whip not far behind.
Man, I can only imagine what Gumshoe was like when Maggie was in training. Maggie. Oh my gosh, it's horrible! Someone stole my panties, sir!
Oh, this is horrible! Who could have stolen them?
I know, right? This is my luck. It's one of those ugly suitcases designed by Mr. Nero. You can tell it's hardly ever been used by the lack of even a single scratch on it. Yeah, you can know whose bed is who. It's pretty easy to tell who sleeps in which bunk just by looking. I'm almost certain that the well-kept one on top belongs to Mr. Nero.
Ew, the bottom one's a giant mess. It's like my apartment.
You sloven, squalid scoundrel of a man! You dare to scrutinize a woman's bed and invade her privacy?
No!
There are some things in life best kept to yourself, detective. Okay. I didn't present the prosecutor's badge to her. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I don't know how to answer you. As a professional flight attendant, I am a failure. She must be worn out from the long questioning session she just went through. Yes, it's the classic Von Karma method. She just breaks your soul. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. And eyes for Cammy. And 2 hands for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. You're much more civil about than my quote-unquote adoptive sister. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Mr. Nero, is it? There is one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Franziska seems to have struck a nerve. All I did was go check up on the shop line like I always do. You're saying it was for work then? Yes, I am in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to the front to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Mr. Nero claims I have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask about that thing. That abomination of nature! If you could please take a look at this ugly thing for me, Mr. Nero. Oh, that suitcase! Yes, about the suitcase. You were the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about this suitcase? Yes, I designed it after snorting a tub of glue. I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional, I'm not supposed to care, but I really wanted to know, and I was glad to see that it was the last one there. The last one there? So you're saying, Mr. Nero, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? Now I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it! No one would want to buy it! I wouldn't even give it to my arch enemy! Hell, I wouldn't even give it to Franziska or Gumshoe! Then say you'll buy it. I'm sorry, I can't! I'm not a miracle worker! I'm capable of many things, but that's not one of them! But why? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. Do I have jaundice to you? Oh yes, maybe if I lived in a leper colony. I guarantee you, personally, as a service professional. Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on, my issue with the suitcase is the design. It's the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated. 2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like her story is guaranteed quite the contradiction. when I left the shop, I'm positive there was only one suitcase left. Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Mr. Nero, what is one of those suitcases doing here? That's... I thought you said there was only one left. That one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now. She's used it for a long time? I think not. Tip, Mr. Nero, if you're going to claim that you used the suitcase for a long time, remove the price tag. Remove the price tag, you dumb bimbo. You novice bimbo, you're like that Mia Fey woman. And look what happened to her. She's dead. She was killed by a guy wearing a purple suit with purple hair who has been butchering the English language for as long as time itself. Congratulations. Mr. Nero, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time. What proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Mr. Nero says? The price tag, of course. Tell me, Mr. Nero, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase? What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase? Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Mr. Nero, I think I understand. I know what you are trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in. Seeing as how the price tag is still on this suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And that person who bought the suitcase was... Zingler Blanc, he thought it was art. It is art! Okay, Miss Rhoda Tenero, yes. It was you, wasn't it, Miss Tenero? I hate to say this, but this suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you had poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling like hotcakes by buying it yourself. Isn't that right? Then, the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I'd finally accomplished something.
And then Gumshoe, he just says, Sister, you think your life is sad? Look at me! I make 5 cents a year! I make 5 cents a year! And that's after I begged Mr. Edgeworth to give me that 1 penny raise after getting Ungard arrested. Have done with the Ungard case.
But the suitcases didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? All because it's, as you put it, hideous. I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either. We weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting on there collecting dust. I felt so sad seeing them there day in and day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked. You buy one every single time you work a flight? I see, so in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here is my receipt for that purchase. The receipt is clearly timestamped 5:40 a.m. The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Mr. Nero, where are these other suitcases? They shall be down the cargo hold. They will all be dumped into the ocean. Then the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases too? Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body. How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. Well, it's a faithful partner in crime. That's all I ever wished for them to be. Mr. Nero, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is just through that door over there. And what about security? That door has no special lock and saw because just to enter this room, you need a special key card that only crew members have access to. Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it. Yes, Franziska? We'll answer Franziska's question in the next episode. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stick around to watch the episode. You're a great viewer. If you come back for the next one. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. And with that, I'll see you later. Bye.